What's so much fun about this film and makes it so watchable is the fact that there's little elements that would be interesting and funny in and of themselves in a very different film.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't this like sci-fi fantasy film, you would still, see shoujo animes where somebody would be planning a date for somebody else that they didn't expect. And they were like, oh my God, I'm going on a date. And this is like funny moments where you're seeing somebody like panic, like, oh shit, I have a date in an hour. I didn't plan this, but this was like sprung on me. And now I have to totally pretend like I planned this and that I'm cool.
I want to ask you, how do you think this is more sci-fi than fantasy?
The first time that I was introduced to what science fiction was based on a writing assignment that we had in English class, and I must have been pretty young. The way they defined sci-fi is that you decide on one scientific fact, and you can change the scientific fact a little bit. Could be like, my scientific fact is plants get energy from the sun through photosynthesis. And then, you know what? I'm going to change that fact a little bit. Now, people get energy, or some people get energy from the sun through photosynthesis. Like some people have plant power. In some ways, it's kind of like magical realism, but where science is magic. In this film, it's kind of like my scientific fact that I'm kind of altering is the idea that if there was a comet that was going to hit the Earth and it split off, maybe that splitting off would cause some kind of rift in time and space that might make it possible for two people to switch bodies in time and space.
Oh,
and then the rest
to mention,
of my...
like, this is like a really comet-heavy movie. Like, a lot of the conflict revolves around, like, there's a comet that's going to destroy the town where Mitsuha lives, and Taki's trying to save the town from that destruction.
So I think that this is all based off of one kind of quote-unquote scientific fact where somebody's altered it to be something kind of interesting and imaginative and fun, and then base the rest of the story based off that like altered imaginative scientific fact. So to me, that is at its core sci-fi.
I completely disagree with you.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. I just don't think the comet splitting off has anything to do with the body swapping time and like how it would affect, like, scientifically happen.
Let's say it's magic. Like, do you think there's any explanation anywhere for where the magic came from or how it happened?
So Mitsuha's family works at a shrine, and I took it as like it's part of like the shrine god's will. That's the magic for me. Okay. Is that like it had to do with the shrine god, and that's what
it's a little bit more spiritual and religious.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I kind of interpreted it. And that's why I think it's more fantasy like that. Because there's a lot to do with like making a sacrifice to the god, and when Taki drinks the sacrifice to connect him more with Mitsuha back in the past, and he gets sent through that like trippy montage where you see Mitsuha's entire life, and it throws him back in the past even more to save the town from the comet. I felt like it had more of like a magical, fantastic, spiritual thing with that than it had to do with the comet. That's how I took it. And that's why I'm firmly in the fantasy magic camp.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, those are two totally different interpretations of all of the events.
If you are listening and you have thoughts on this debate, send an essay.
You can tell us if you think that Kat's right and that this is actually sci-fi and it's based off, an imaginative thinking of what could be scientific facts, or if it's...
Joe's right, and it's more spiritual, godly magic, and Kat's stupid. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Everything up until Kat's stupid. Thanks for watching that clip from the Anime Movie Podcast. Follow the links in the description below to hear full episodes, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more fun clips like this.